Shalom again, brothers and sisters. Sorry about that. It cut off again. I guess my phone, it doesn't have much memory in it. I have a lot of apps, like with scripture. I try to study a lot of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I want to share you scripture again. This is from Luke chapter 20. And it came to be on one of those days, as he was teaching the people in the Mikdash and bringing the good news, that the chief Kohanim and the scribes, together with the elders, came up and spoke to him, saying, Say to us, by what authority are you doing these? Or who is he who gave you this authority? And he answering said to them, I shall ask you one question too. Answer me. The immersion of Yehonan, was it from the Shamayim or from man? And they debated among themselves, saying, If we say, from the Shamayim, he shall say, then why did you not believe him? But if we say, from men, all the people shall stone us, for they are persuaded that Yehonan was a Navi. And they answered, and they did not know from where it was. And Yahushua said to them, Neither do I say to you by what authority I do these. And he began to speak this parable to the people. A certain man planted a vineyard and leased it to farmers, and he went away for a long time. In due time he sent a servant to the farmers to give him some of the fruit of the vineyard. But the farmers beat him and sent him away empty-handed. And again he sent another servant, and they beat him too, and maltreated him. And he sent him away empty-handed. And again he sent a third, and they wounded him too, and cast him out. And the owners of the vineyard said, What shall I do? And I shall send my son, the beloved, and they might respect when they see him. Respect him when they see him. But when the farmers saw him, they reasoned among themselves, saying, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, so that the inheritance becomes ours. And they cast him out of the vineyard, and killed him. What then shall the owner of the vineyard do to them? He shall come and destroy those farmers, and give the vineyard to the others. And having heard, they said, Let it not be. But he looked at them and said, What then is this that has been written? The stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. Everyone who falls on the stone shall be broken, but on whomever it falls, he shall be pulverized. And the chief Kohanim and the scribes sought to lay hands on him in the same hour, but they feared the people, for they knew that they had spoken the parable against them. And keeping a close watch, they sent spies who pretended to be righteous to catch him in a word, and in order to deliver him to the rule and the authority of the governor. So they asked him, saying, Teacher, we know that what you say and teach rightly. Let you say and teach rightly. And you are not partial to any, but teach the way of Elohim truly. Is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not, or Caesar? But perceiving their craftiness, he said to them, Why do you try me? Show me a silver piece, whose likeness and inscription does it have? And they answering said, Caesar's. And he said to them, Then give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to Elohim what is Elohim's. And they were unable to catch him in a saying in the presence of the people, and marveling at his answer, they were silent. And some of the Sadducees, denying that there was a resurrection, came to him and asked him, saying, Teacher, Moshe wrote to us that a man's brother dies having a wife. If a man's brother dies having a wife, and he dies childless, his brother should take his wife and raise up an offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers, and the first took a wife and died childless, and the second took her as a wife, and he died childless, and the third took her and in the same way the 7th also. And they left no children and died. The last of all the women died too, at the resurrection. Then, whose wife does she belong? For the 7 had her for the 7 had her as wife. Ooh. And Yahusha answering and said to them, the sons of this age marry and are given in marriage, but those who are counted worthy, attaining this age and the resurrection from the dead, neither married are they given in marriage. For neither is it possible for them to die any more, because they are like messengers, and are sons of Elohim, being sons of the resurrection. But that the dead are raised, even Moshe showed at the bush, when he called Yahusha, the Elohim of Yahuwah, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob. Now he is not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living, for all live to him. And some of the scribes answering said, Teacher, you have spoken well. And they dared not question him any more. And he said to them, How do they say that Hamashiach is the Ben of David? For David himself said in the book of the Tehillim. Yahuwah said to Adonai, Sit at my right hand. Yahuwah said to Adonai, Sit at my right hand, until I make your enemies a footstool of your feet. Then David then calls him Adonai. How is he then his Ben? And in hearing of all the people, he said to his Talmudim, Beware of the scribes, who like to walk in long robes, and love greetings in the marketplaces, and the best seats at the congregations, and the best places at feasts, who devour widows' houses, and for a show make long prayers, and they shall receive greater judgment. Okay, so again, I was cut off. I was telling you about the people that were underneath the pastor. They call them the deacons. Some call them bishops. Some they have different names for everybody. It's weird. That's not scriptural. If you look up the definition for these words, it's not what... Okay, look at the Old Testament. They call them overseers and they called elders. Elders and overseers. Scripture shouldn't change in that way. The people that were under the leader are the same people. It's just a different order now because Yahusha came and he died. It doesn't matter what he died on. I'm not getting into that. I believe tree. People say cross. People say stake. It doesn't matter. I'm not worshiping. I'm not bowing down to that image. No more. I don't agree with the cross. There's pagan origins of the cross. If it was a cross, who knows? It doesn't matter. We're not going to argue about that. But okay. So they told this woman to sit down and shut up. They told her... they basically didn't want to hear what she was saying. She was trying to speak out. And she's been in the church for forever. She's been going to this assembly for probably since childhood. I don't know. I know many of the women in the church. One of them was my Sunday school teacher. She had been there since she was a child. So, and it's okay, yes. A woman's not supposed to usurp authority over a man, but I still believe she has a say has a say in what... If somebody is doing something wrong, you should speak out against it. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You still need to speak out against it. You don't want someone's blood on your hands. You don't want that, okay? So, this is crazy because, after we left that church, I started going to another church, which was a smaller church. It was in a trailer. And the pastor was a Baptist church pastor, and his wife and his daughter. And me and his daughter became really good friends. And, we really bonded. And, we even did, we made, I told you I love music. We sang a song together, It was his little cute song about being hyper, but yeah, it was really sweet. And her I could tell he had a heart for Yahuwah. He may not have called him that. It doesn't matter. But, like, I could tell his heart was in the right place. He was on the right road. He was on the straight and narrow path, so to speak. And, like, I listened to him. And I learned a lot from him. And, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's heresy and there's also truth. And when I heard, like, his family was, like, very loving, very kind. They actually lived the word. It was not like something second in nature to them, like, okay, well, I'm just going to do what I want, you know what I mean? And that's what I look for when I look for a pastor. And I'm not looking for someone that's going after my money. I know that what Yahuwah wants me to do with the income that I earn is to help others and provide for my family. And that's what I try to do to the best of my ability.